did it almost feel like had the kind of atmosphere of a playoff game? We're still sixth, as I said. Would you have taken that at the start of the season?
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Any Revs UK, all things Revolution from a UK perspective. Yes, guys, welcome to the Any Revs UK, all things New England Revolution from a UK perspective. A brand new episode. Obviously, do apologise that this just seems to be turning into a fortnightly thing now, purely because I just don't seem to be able to find the time. I thought when I first started this that I'd be able to find time every single week to do this, but it just doesn't seem to have worked in that way. But hopefully you guys seem to still be enjoying it, so I will continue to produce it because people are still listening to it. Anyway, in today's episode we're going to be talking about dissecting the game against Columbus Crew, and looking at Brad's plan B, depth in positions as well, and then obviously talking about the lineup against Vancouver. A very bold lineup from me. I don't think anyone's going to guess this one or even agree with me. And obviously the predictions for the Vancouver game as well. So we'll kind of just get this out there. We lost, right? We lost against Columbus. One of the best defences so far in MLS this season. So did we see us scoring past it? But for me, I don't know what everyone else thought, but did it almost feel like had the kind of atmosphere of a playoff game? Because that's what it felt like to me. That I don't know what it was about the whole thing, but it almost seemed like both teams just didn't want to lose, so didn't risk maybe too much going forward. From the Revolution point of view, I think we were quite lacklustre in the attacking third. And I kind of talk about this in a little, not really that much detail, but kind of talk about the squad depth in it a little bit later on. But yeah, looked a little bit lacklustre. Was that because Diego wasn't on the pitch? It shouldn't really come down to that. But was that the cause? Don't know what your thoughts on that one are, guys. But yeah, it just seemed a little bit. We had 13 shots, only 6 of those on target. Though, kind of think that's a story in itself, really. There, kind of just snapping at opportunities, maybe not working the ball into the best positions. 65% pass succession rate. That again just isn't good enough at the moment. And we mentioned about earlier about the plan B. We'll kind of talk about that, but I don't think the plan B worked, did it? It wasn't really working. This is what Brad's plan B is. Obviously, conceding the 85th minute to a set piece to the guy with the massive hair. I mean, I would hate to be the graphic designer who had to cut out, that, because that would have just took a lot of time and patience. But yeah, we're sitting sixth in the Eastern Conference. So I mean, at the start of the season, would Revs fans taken that? Would you predicted that at this time of the season? Would we be sitting in sixth? I think we're still doing well. I mean, I kind of had a little bit of discussion with a few Revs fans the other day about. I'm still very much thinking we'll have a better season than last season. I think we're going to finish up with more points and a better goal difference. I'm putting that out there to everyone. It's now written on Twitter and it's on the airwaves, so there's no going back on it. I do think underneath Brad Friedel that we are going to have a better season than last season. We're going to finish on more points and a better goal difference. I don't think anyone was under the impression that Brad was going to turn it around instantly. Nobody kind of thought that. The whole change of philosophy and the way he's doing things does take time, and I think the players are starting to understand it a little bit better. I think second season for us underneath Brad, he's given a little bit of money maybe to kind of get the kind of players that he needs, the right players bought in. I think we could have something special on the way here at the Revolution. But we'll go back to the game obviously against Columbus. Very cagey affair. I think both teams are very guilty of it. Columbus weren't really playing their game plan. It almost seemed that both managers obviously looked at the game that we played not too long ago, watched the tape, and then reacted on it, which is what all good managers to do. But we both reacted in a way that it counterbalanced each other out. So it's like a game of chess, more than football. I noticed that Columbus with a lot of kind of direct long balls over the top, very kind of route one. Obviously, the reason for the plan B as such was the fact that Revolution were noticing in the first game that Columbus were attacking down both wings, so they kind of wanted a little bit of extra cover there. That's the reason for the kind of 5-3, with two wing backs formation that we went with. But from a personal point of view, from a Revolution point of view, I think Brandon Boy, again, every time he's getting on the pitch, the more minutes I'm seeing from him, the more I'm getting more and more impressed by him. And a question for you guys as well. I didn't think I'd ever be kind of saying this, but from what I've seen, I think it needs to be asked and said. But so far this season, Andrew Farrell, is he better as a centre back than he has been at right back? Yes, you did hear me right. Is Andrew Farrell performing better as a centre back than he does as a right back? Because for me, other than if Brandon didn't have, wasn't as impactful and everywhere basically in that match, I think Farrell would have got man of the match for me in that match because he played really well. He did play, yeah. He's actually impressed me now on is it 2 occasions he's played? I think it's definitely 2, isn't it? Yeah, it's definitely his 2 occasions, maybe a third. I can't remember. My memory's so bad. But yeah, he has impressed me when he has played centre back, more so than he has done when he's played right back. Which, based on every other time we've played centre back for Revs, I didn't think that sentence would ever come out of my mouth, but there it is. I mean, he won 10 out of his 14 duels. I mean, Boy won 11 out of his 20, but that's not better than 10 out of 14. So yeah, it was really, really good. Other kind of notes that I made down from this one, we attacked a lot down the right hand side. I'm not too sure if we were kind of a little bit worried about Tierney pushing too far forward and not being able to get back, or maybe because of the fact that, I mean, for me this is another point I'm making here. Playing in the middle just doesn't work for me. It was good that we kind of, we've tried it now. We know it doesn't work, but Christian Panier in the middle just didn't work for me at all. Yeah, played a lot down the right hand side. We crossed the ball a hell of a lot. A little bit too much for. I'm not too sure what was we crossing it to. Other than when we had Zahibo at the 10 spot, which was another strange decision. I'm not really too sure what we were doing with that. We crossed the ball a lot, but there wasn't a lot of options there. I didn't understand. It's not like we've got 2 massive target men in the middle. So yeah, I mean, if one was on the pitch with Zahibo and Teal, then yeah, cross the ball all day long, and one of them's going to get the end of it. But for the likes of Rowe and Teal by himself at a lot of the occasions, it just I didn't understand it. I think we missed Zahibo when he wasn't on the pitch, and at the same time that when he did come on the pitch, as I just mentioned, I don't understand. I mean, for me, Callum Rowe so far potentially has the best, has the opportunity to be Rev's best player, most influential player. I'm not too sure if it's reasons outside of footballing or what, but it's not working. Something isn't clicking right with Callum Rowe at the moment. I was really, really happy to see him at the number 10 spot. I thought finally we're going to get to see Callum Rowe play at the number 10 spot, and he didn't grasp the opportunity at all. I wouldn't say it was a terrible performance, but it definitely wasn't a good performance either. And to then have the decision to bring on not Zach Harvo, which I thought would be the likely option, but to bring Zahibo on. I mean, for me, I think I'd rather see Casido there than Zahibo. Zahibo does everything right in that. He's been playing so well as that kind of defensive midfield role. I just don't understand it. But again, we've tried that now. We know that doesn't really work. So we took a lot from this Plan B. We did take a lot. But the big question really though was this the right time to play back the Plan B as well? I don't think it was. I could understand if we came off a bad, really, really poor performance, and it was just looking to change things up. But we hadn't. I mean, yes, it wasn't nothing to sing and dance about against Toronto, but it was a win, and it wasn't a bad performance at all. So I'm not really too sure. I mean, I think it was more. Obviously, he's already said it's not a philosophy change, which we didn't see any philosophy changes. I'm not too sure, what people were kind of trying to get out of that question. But it was just a formation change, and fair enough. To think now, we realise that formation with that personnel probably doesn't work. As kind of maybe planned to, or maybe it did. I mean, I'd still seen a lot of positives there. The wing back system, I think, can work. I just don't think we had the right people in the right places in some aspects for me. I mean, Panier up top didn't work. I think if we had Agudelo and Bunbury up top, with, you maybe could try Panier as a wing back. that's another option. I think Somi would have actually suited that role slightly better. Zahibo as the defensive midfielder, so we've almost got a four at the back because we've got Zahibo filling in. So when Bai and Tierney or Somi go forward, you've still got your defensive line of three, and then you've got Zahibo there as well. So I don't know. It definitely can work, but yeah, it just didn't for us on the day. I think Scotty Caldwell still had a solid game. He got, I think it was like 80% pass accuracy as well on the day. So he was by far the best passer of the ball. I think Matt Turner, I think his pass accuracy was actually better, but it doesn't really count because obviously some of his distribution is just short to defensive players. But yeah, Scotty Caldwell I think had a solid game as well. But overall, yeah, I don't know. It was just a little bit lackluster. The attack just looked, yeah, just didn't look good. And was the loss of Diego that it shouldn't really knock us that much. It shouldn't really affect us that much. But it seemed that it did. It seemed that it just did. And as I said, I think if Cohen Rowe would have been at the level he was last year, I think we probably would have seen a different game, a different result. But I'm really not too sure what's going on with. I don't know. Has anyone heard any reports? I'm not too sure because he seems happy. I've heard nothing come out of the Revolution camp. Nothing. I mean, personally, maybe I don't really know. But yeah, for me, it wasn't. Again, I think it was probably one of the worst performances I'd probably say from a 11-man Revolution team that I've seen. It just didn't click. I don't know how long they've been working on that or not, but for me, it just didn't really work. But it's nice to see that Brad's he's thinking of this now. And he's making tactical tweaks because of what he's seen in previous games and what he's seeing on tape and what the scouts have kind of reported. So that is a positive. That is the positive to try to take away from this. And Brandon Bai, that's another positive there. And for that centre back, that seems to be a positive, possibly. Question mark. But yeah, we're still sixth, as I said. Would you have taken that at the start of the season? I think we're sitting in a good position now. But at the same time, that kind of takes me on. We kind of spoke about Plan B. A little bit depth of the squad for me still. I don't know. I think we have got it is there. It's just using the right people though. I do still worry at the number 10 spot potentially, but I don't know because we've not really seen Zach Arrow given an opportunity. He could be the answer when Jay goes injured. That could be the answer there. Could we try Nemeth there? There is options there, but yeah, it is still a worry that kind of striker role. We did see Brian Wright have 4 minutes, and to be fair, that was quite an impressive 4 minutes. I mean, was that a penalty for me? I mean, I'm slightly biased, but I think that even watching the reviews, I'm pretty certain that's a penalty. So yeah. The whole VIR thing, I just don't understand it. Why only certain things are reviewed, not everything. But I don't really know. Not everything. I don't mean everything, but yeah, it just seems really hit and miss. I think there needs to be more kind of clarity around when it has to be used as such. But I suppose at the end of the day, it's the referee's decision. But yeah, I was quite impressed with the 4 minutes that you did kind of see him, and I would like to see more from Brian Wright. As I mentioned, I did actually send a question in to the guys over at Revolution Recap, which I'll be listening to their podcast a little bit later on today, so hopefully they'll answer my question. But yeah, it was an impressive 4 minutes. So I'm not really going to go into too much detail about depth because I kind of think that's a whole episode for itself, and I'm going away next week, so I don't know if it's going to be one of these, but if I do have a chance to record one, it is going to be just more of a review of the season more than anything so far. Possibly, if I can get it done. I'm not too sure though. But we're going to be just talking about, obviously now going on to the game against Vancouver. And all this Plan B talk and it's probably, I think some of it might be there because we've got a lot of games coming thick and fast now and some very, very tough games as well. We've got Vancouver, then we've got Atlanta and then New York as well. So it's 3 tough games and we've got a cup game. And I've got a feeling, I don't know what this is, but Brad said that, I kind of wish I'd recorded these clips now. Brad did say in a press conference that he's naming a team that he believes will be able to get 3 points at Vancouver. Now, for me, watching football for so long in the UK, that generally, that statement is generally said when you're going to make some wholesale changes to your squad. This is generally a thing that you say before the cup game when you're playing a lower league opposition. And you say you're going to name a squad which you believe will still get you 3 points. Meaning, I'm naming a weakened side as such, but I still think they'll get the job done. So that's the reason why I've gone for a very, very bold lineup, which no one's going to guess, and I don't think many people are going to agree with, but I'm going to state it in this shortly. I'm going to talk to you kind of reasons and looking back at past games against Vancouver. So it's Kai's return, first of all. Kai Kamara does return. Well, not return because it's not a Foxborough, is it? But it's the return against Revolution, obviously, for Kai Kamara. In the last game, 2017, we won 1-0. Obviously, that was a homo. Obviously, we only played Vancouver once per season. Teal with the goal in that one. Then in 2016, it was an away game. Woodbury, remember that name? I think he scored actually, didn't he? Did he score this week? I think he scored for, is it North Carolina? I think he plays for now. But he scored a goal on Rowe as well. And then in 2015, we actually lost at home. Teal grabbing the goal. It was 2-1 loss, that one. Teal grabbing the goal for us, and Andrew Farrell picking up a red card quite early on in the game. Vancouver themselves not on the best run of form at the moment. They haven't lost for a while now, but the last 3 games, I don't know how this happened, but the last 3 games all ended as a 2-2 draw. So that shows, I think they've got quite a high goal difference, a negative goal difference as well. So they do like to concede goals, but at the same time, they can also score them. So based on that, I've actually gone for a 2-1 victory to Revolution. Now, I know I always go for Revolution victory, but I just can't say the other thing. I can't predict who I'm going to lose. Even against Atlanta and stuff, I don't think I'm ever going to predict. I'm predicting Revolution are winning every match ever. But no, this. I do actually base my predictions on a little bit. I do a little bit of digging and stuff, and they are based on actual some thought. Not just I'm not going to predict that Revolution will win every single match ever. That's ridiculous. But I am predicting a 2-1 victory, purely on the fact that I do think that our lineup potentially will shock them, and they kind of won't know what to do. I think they will score. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, unfortunately. Although Matt Turner will forever be my fantasy team goalkeeper throughout this whole season. I'm not changing him, no matter what. He's staying unless he obviously gets dropped. Then it'll be whoever replaces him, but he won't get dropped because he's goalkeeper of the year. But yeah, Matt, I do think he's going to concede, unfortunately, in this match. But I do think we'll score some goals. I think we'll score 2 goals. I'm not going to name my goal scorers just yet, because I'm going to talk through my actual lineup before I do that, because, yeah, it's slightly shocking. But before we actually talk through the lineup, I just kind of want to mention the fact that I'm sure you guys are all aware, but the academy teams are also playing Vancouver as well. All 3 of the academy teams are getting on the private jet plane across to Vancouver. And yeah, joining us in Canada, so it'll be interesting to see their results. They've been actually on a decent run of form. Well, most of them have been actually performing, fairly well at the moment. We had a few games against Great Boston Bolts, and I know the under 19s, they performed really well. I think it was Trevor Burns got 3 assists, and Nick Firmino grabbing 2 goals as well. So 2 players that we've got to be keeping our out on, and maybe we might see a few of them next season, potentially in the Open Cup games or something like that. Or maybe even this season. Who knows what Brad's going to do in the Cup games? That would be definitely interesting to see. Talking of Cup games, this lineup may shock a few of you. So, okay, I don't think the back 4 is, as I said, guys, I'm basing this on the fact of what Brad said. I think there actually will be kind of, not wholesale changes, but I think there will be kind of some rotation in a mind, that we've got, 3 big games really. These are all 3 big games. But no disrespect at all to Vancouver, but I think the next games after this against Atlanta and New York Red Bulls are slightly more concerning for us, and games we need to win. So I do think he will rest some players in, give some other players some more opportunities. So I do think we'll kind of revert back to the 4-2-3-1 formation. I think we will start off with Turner. I don't think he will drop the goalkeeper. I think Turner is going to start in goal until he basically does something that bad that it warrants him to lose his position, which will not happen, as I said, because he's goalkeeper of the year. I think we'll start with Farrell at right back. Yes, even though I've just been talking about the centre back, I think we'll start with Andrew Farrell at right back. I think we'll start with Dialna and Annie Barbar in the centre because Delamea obviously did leave the pitch in about the 52nd minute. Reports were that he was actually ill before the game, but then he said he was okay at half time, and then obviously wasn't okay. So I'm not too sure if he's going to be fully fit. So he's just made the bench for this match. I've gone for Tierney on the left. Now I'm thinking this is obviously possibly an opportunity for Somi to. This one I'm still a bit not too sure. Somi could come back in here if Tierney now is the first choice left back. But I think it'll be Tierney. In front of him, I'm going for Zahibo and Caldwell purely for the fact that I think not playing Zahibo. Well, I just don't know why we wouldn't play him. he knows that role. He's playing really well at the moment. To keep playing him in that position, along with Caldwell as well. And then in the attacking three, I've gone for Brandon Bye on the right hand side. Going to give Callum Rowe another shot because something's going to click eventually as the number 10 role. Nemeth on the left hand side and Brian Wright up top. So that attacking three, you're probably thinking, well, attacking four, sorry. You're probably thinking, Mike, what are you talking about? So that does mean the fact, we've got Pannier on the bench, Teal on the bench, Diego on the bench, Castillo on the bench, Zachary Harivu on the bench, Dialma on the bench, and Knighton as well. I don't know reports, I'm not too sure. I don't think Agudelo, from what I heard from the training reports, is that he's going to make it back. I think he's kind of back in training, but I don't think they're going to risk him. So he might be on the bench, but I don't think they're actually going to risk him at all in a match against Vancouver with the thought that we've got two other big games coming up very, very soon. Now, the reason, as I said, for this, I'm going to keep reiterating it, is that I think there will be some changes. I think Pannier will be rested. He can't play every game, but saying that we have got a cup game coming up, so it might be that he names a fully, strong starting 11 in mind that the cup game is going to come in, and he might try something like this in the cup game. That could be what's happening. But I just think, but I played really well. Played quite well as the attacking wing back. Does have an opportunity playing on the right hand side? Because to be fair, I think that's kind of another position where we're not looking the strongest in most opportunities. Nemeth, I think, is going to be given some minutes sometime soon, so let's start him. If Pannier needs a rest, this is the perfect opportunity to get Nemeth on the left. Callum Rowe, something's going to click eventually. I'm going to start seeing the Callum Rowe that we've seen towards the back end of last season. And for that 4 minutes, I'm giving Brian Wright a top, just because Till can't play every game, and Agudelo is out injured at the moment. So I suppose you could go Pannier on the left and Nemeth up top. That could be an option as well. But I'm going. Let's go, Revs fans. Let's get Brian Wright starting. He might be in the cup, to be fair, but yeah, that's my prediction. So it's going Turner, Farrell, Dialma, Annie Barbar, Tierney, Zahibo, Caldwell, Bye, Rowe, Nemeth, and Brian Wright up top. As I said, not many will agree, not many would predicted what I was going to say. But that is my prediction for the game. So in the goal scorers, as I said, 2-1 to Revolution. I'm going to go for Callum Rowe for the first goal and Brian Wright getting the winner after we go 1-1. It's going to be 1-1 just after the break. We're going to actually go in at the break, 1-0 down. We're going to come out, just score. Rowe's going to grab a goal in the 56th minute, and then Brian Wright's going to score in about the 78th. That is my predictions for the game. I did actually have a few questions which I need to kind of run through as well. Hopefully this one won't be a massively long episode. But AJ tweeted me, and he basically was asking me, who do you think I should offload in the summer, obviously if we've kind of got the right kind of money. And at the moment, I don't really think we're kind of in a position where any players should be offloaded, or any of the players who I potentially think could be offloaded would gain any kind of traction in terms of money or trade picks. I don't think the Revolution's roster at the moment is... there's not enough quality in every single position to warrant anyone trading. That's my own personal opinion. I'm sure the Revolution fans might differ from that, and if you do, then please let me know who you think the Revolutions will trade out or offload in the summer. But for me at the moment, I don't think we will, because I don't think anyone that potentially could go, there would be anything worth tabling from any other teams. There's no value from it from a Revs point of view. Now, I could be wrong. Obviously, I know Nemeth potentially nearly went, but I don't think at this moment in time, unless somebody else comes in, I don't think somebody else will leave. That's what I'm saying here. Obviously, if a player comes in, then maybe a player leaves. But at the moment, I don't think we'll be offloading anyone until another player is brought in. But thank you very much for your question, AJ. Eddie Pitch as well asked me thoughts on Zachary Haribo. And then he also asked another question that will the Revs climb up the standings before the World Cup? Zachary Haribo, I want to see more. Definitely want to see more from him. Every time he's took to the pitch, I have been impressed. And, I don't think he does anything fancy, but I think everything he does of a good quality, good standard. He basically doesn't do things that he can't do. If you're not a flair player, and you can't run 1,000 miles an hour, you don't do that. You just do, and he's good at passing. So what does he do? Gets the ball, distributes it. Gets the ball, distributes it. It's he works to his strengths, which I like to see in a player. So I definitely want to see more of him. In terms of his second question, do I think the Revolutions will climb up the standings before the World Cup? No. I think we will stay 6th. Fingers crossed we will stay 6th. We've got some tough games coming up. Obviously the World Cup's very, very close now. But yeah, no, we'll stay 6th. And then I have another question. Oh my god, I really apologise because I'm terrible with names at the best of times. And you've got your first name, Christopher. Your second name, Valuskis. Sorry, that's probably wrong. Sending in a question, he said the team has been solid this season, but they feel like they're lacking respect in the MLS overall. What do they need to do to gain more positive attention rather than excuses of how we win? Thanks. No, thank you very much for your question. Yes, I don't think the Revolution have got much respect in the whole MLS community, really. Because people don't see us as a big team. We haven't got any big name players. In the UK, we're not seen as because we've got no ex-Premier League players or again known players, so we're not really supported that well. We've got a few supporters that follow me. We might have a few more. I'm not too sure, but yeah, there's not many of us over here. But yeah. I don't want us to go out and sign big name players for the sake of it. If they're not fitting the philosophy and the style that Brad wants to play, there's no point doing that. I would love us more to kind of, focus on the homegrown players and the homegrown talent. But saying that, what have we got to do? First of all, we've got to start owning our own brand. We can't continue to play under the shadow of such a huge, gigantic franchise as the Patriots. Because that's all people see. They come to Gillette Stadium. And yes, I know they do a good job of dressing it up. That's all it is. All we're doing is covering up the Patriots with Revolution stuff. That's not how it should work. You should you should come to the stadium of your team. It's your team, not we're loaning it from the Patriots. Because that's basically what it feels like we're doing, and we are doing. We've got to get our own brand. We've got to get our own. We have got our own identity. I don't mean like a whole rebrand. But the social media team, to be fair, of Revolution, they do a good job. They post videos on YouTube. They need to gain more traction from that somehow. We've got a lot of good people podcasting. There's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of support for Revolutions from people from New England. But it's outside New England. People don't look at the Revs and see title contenders. They don't see a team of threat really. They see a community of people moaning a lot because, yeah, we like to moan, but, that's because we've got an arsehole of an owner. So, yeah, I think until the ownership probably isn't going to change from that point of view. So I think we've got to kind of, sometimes shut up about, not saying, you can't voice your opinions at all, but sometimes we've just got to take that one as that's not going to change. So what can we do as a team? What can we do as a fan base to help this team grow? To grow more outside of New England, because that's basically where the fan base is. And yeah, getting our own stadium will be a huge, massive step. Because imagine the team walking out in their own stadium, fans feeling more pride about it, and to see a full, 25,000 seater stadium full to its capacity of fans, rather than a 90, whatever the Patriots ground is, not even half full. the atmosphere must be it's nowhere near as good. If you go to a stadium where it's full and everyone's singing and it's a great atmosphere and the seats are full, you're looking around and every single seat is taken. That is a morale boost in itself. So for me, that is the first step towards anything of New England Revolution growing as a franchise. But guys, I've rambled for far too long as it already is, so I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your weekends. Obviously, if you have enjoyed this one, then don't forget to, I don't know where you're listening, like, upvote, share, subscribe, favourite, I don't know. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're listening to this, then do whatever it is to let me know that you've enjoyed it, and that would be much appreciated. But as I say, guys, that's it for today's episode, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.